Now we're taking stress 3. Stress 3, these are also questions on stress. The difference is the instruction. The instruction here are different from the first two. Here, you are asked to pick the word that has a stress on the first syllable. Meaning that out of the 4 options you have, 1 will have stress on the first syllable. The other 3 can have stress on the second, on the last, on the third syllable, or even fourth if a word is given that has 4 syllables. But the essential thing is that you are looking only for the one that has stress on the first syllable. This instruction can also be changed to be stress on the second syllable. Look for a word that has stress on the second syllable. It's just that most times it is on the first syllable that you are asked to look, that a word with first syllable that you are asked to look for. So it doesn't mean that it can't change to second or even third, depending. Now, so having that at the back of our mind, our instructions to look for a word with stress on first syllable. We'll move on to question number 1. Now, look at option A. Option A. Now, how do you pronounce that word? Is it success? The correct pronunciation is success, and that means the stress is on the first and second syllable. Now, what about B? Revenge. Where is the stress? The stress is on the second syllable. Now, C. How do you pronounce that? That is alone. Alone. And by that, alone, the stress is on the second syllable. Now, that shows that our answer is option D. Factor. Factor. The stress is on the first syllable. So the answer to question number 1 is C, and is D. Factor. Now we'll move on to question 2. Now let's start from option D. Option D is pronounced repeat. Repeat. Now that has the stress on what syllable? On the second syllable. The stress is on the second syllable. So option C, where is the stress? Option C has stress on the second syllable. Remember that once you have the suffix tion, then then the stress falls on the syllable preceding that. Now after that, we'll take option B. Option B is mistake. Take note, the word is not mistake, but mistake. And that means the stress is on the second syllable. Watch out for that particular word. It's not mistake, but mistake. Okay, so that means our answer is A. And so the stress is on the first syllable. So how do you pronounce this? The word is not pronounced calendar, but it is pronounced calendar. Calendar. So the answer therefore is A. Now we'll take question 3. Question 3. What is our answer? Now we'll take option A. The stress is on the second syllable. So how do you pronounce that? A girl. A girl. So a girl, Titan. Now what about option B? Option B has 3 syllables. So where does the stress fall? First, second, or third? The stress falls on the second syllable. 11. 11. Titan. Okay, so that means it's not our answer. Option C, the stress is also on the second syllable. Release. Release. That takes us to option D, which happens to be our answer. Honest. Honest. The stress is on the first syllable. Honest. Okay? Now, question number 4, let's start from the A. A, how do you pronounce that word? Behind. Behind, the stress falls on the second syllable. Behind. Now, what about option B? How do you pronounce that? Important. Important. We've come across this word before, but I think they now form importance. Now it is the adjective important, having the stress also on the second syllable. Okay? Now, what about option C? Where is the stress? How do you pronounce that? That word is local. Local. And if it's local, the stress therefore is on the first syllable, and this becomes our answer. But if that is our answer, so where is the stress on the word impress? Obviously, it's on the second syllable. Now let's take question number 5. Which of the words is our answer? Now, we'll start with option A. Option A is pronounced volunteer. Volunteer. Volunteer, the stress therefore falls on the last syllable, the third syllable. So that can be our answer. Now, question B. How is that word pronounced? Now, the word is pronounced capable. Capable. Now, capable, where therefore by that pronunciation is the stress? Is it the third, the second, or the first? The stress falls on the first syllable. That means our answer to question number 5 is B. If it is B, what therefore is the stress pattern or stress patterns of options C and D? Option C has the stress on the second syllable, behavior. Behavior. Option D also has stress on the second syllable from the beginning, and that is encourage. Encourage. Okay, so say our answer to question number 5 is option B. Now we have exercises for this stress type. Now we have the words here. The instruction now is that you pick the word that has a stress on the first syllable. So for question 1, you can see the words. Which of them has stress on the first syllable? Question 2, which of these have the stress on the first syllable? Then question 3, if you look at question 3, you'll see at least one word that should be familiar that we have looked at before. Question 4, and then you have question 5. For question 5, look at the fact that this word, name of a month, this one begins with capital J. This one is also name of the month, but this begins with a capital small letter A. That is significant. Alright, so try your hands on the questions and see how it goes. But I'm sure you will do quite well.